So just a quick more on the gas flowing and tools for it. So I inherited from my father in all his tools all these, which basically you have these little rubber mandrels and you fit these cups onto them, these sanding cups, which are quite rigid and quite strong. And I've just been sorting all these out into the different sizes. I don't have this micro size, I don't have the mandrel for that, don't know where that is. He probably broke it, I would imagine, because of being so small. But he does have quite an array of used and unused ones, so I'm just going to sort these out into the ones which can be thrown away, like that one. That's already got a hole in the end of it, so that's it's pretty much smooth, so that's junk. But of course my father never sorted anything out or had anything organised, so it's all a mismatch. So what it's allowed me to do is, because these mandrels are 3.1 rather than 3mm shaft, is my collet is actually gripping them. My worn collet is gripping them. So it has allowed me to get in here into some of the corners and start sanding, and what the sanding has showed me is places where I need to go back with probably one of these end mill style 3mm burrs, and just sort of smooth things out in this sort of area up here, get this flatter. I need to still attack this central support with a burr, get a burr in down here, because really this needs to be a knife edge, so the flow doesn't hit a big flat face and spread out and cause lots of turbulence. So that needs to be a knife edge, and all these sort of slope, all this needs to be sanded, and all needs to be nice and smooth and a consistent shape. So still some more work to do on burrs, but Dave next door, when I was grabbing the bearing extractor tools, we talked about burrs and he gave me these. So I've got another set which is pretty much identical to the set I bought, but I probably won't be using those. But he's also got these really long 6mm burrs, and they are perfect for gas flowing a 4-stroke with a long inlet like the Zs have. So I'll be using those when I get around to doing the Z, which is bloody great. So I've also got the reed valve cage here, and I'm not going to do a lot to this, but I am going to, if you look at that central horizontal bridge, I'm actually going to file that down. I have started a little bit, just taking the edge off, but that can be a lot thinner because the reed valves basically go all the way down to this edge, and just gas flowing it basically, just so that's thinner and it's a shallower angle, because that's the edge where the reeds open up to start with, and as soon as the reeds open up, well, gas is going to want to go whoosh straight in there. So the more streamlined you can have this, the more gas you will get in a given period of time. Obviously this sits in here, so you can basically see that any obstruction that you can remove, the better. Can't do much on the curves up the top here. You can just sort of see the witness mark from where the reed valve sits, and which is sort of this diagonal line down here. So you certainly can't open those up to be rectangular. to give you more valve area, because you'll then create a leak, because it won't be covered by the reed valve unless you go for some aftermarket reed valves which are rectangular rather than have these angles on. But on the inside you can sort of remove this sharp edge, because that's going to create turbulence. So all of this is going to be sanded and filed to streamline the passage of gas. So that's stuff I can get on with, and this little sander does work wonders down here as well on the transfer port. So you can see I don't need to get in with a burr in here anymore. All the roughing out has been done. I just need to get in there with the little sanders and basically smooth all these out as far as I can go, really, matching the aluminium to the outside of the liner. This is kind of, I've had a little tiny go at it, but you know, from the factory it's quite rough because hey, it's a production road bike. There's nothing special. So you can see where, you know, the alley doesn't consistently meet the the steel liner, because when they're produced in the factory, the aluminium is actually cast onto the iron liner, and hence you get these sort of transitions between the aluminium and the steel liner, which aren't very neat, but all that will be sanded back, smoothed out, so it's all nice and smooth and the gas isn't catching any edges or fighting anything. Yeah.